Cling. Here we are. It is the Martin Fowler Scrum on Tuesday. Sam and Lockish and Matt are here. I will go first. Yeah, so I managed to write the blog post for the last day of the design sprint. And I followed that up with setting up a new URL for that we discussed in the community meeting yesterday called y.agileventures.org, which redirects automatically to the I forgot what it's called now, the Envision prototype, which we've got here. Yeah, so we can just do y.agileventures.org, and yeah, redirects to here. And then I went through and made a few changes to the text and made it so that it's mouse over, which is not necessarily ideal, but
maybe you could check it back before. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think there's like,
I think it's annoying too.
Well, I think it's annoying, like, not to be able to, if people come to it and they don't click on anything and they can't find anything at all. So, you know, there's clearly many different things that we could do and changes that we could make. Anyway, I'm doing the report on what's done. So that's done. I've also adjusted it so that the when you go into the final place here and you click on sign up now, it will redirect you into the Agile Ventures user sign-up page. It will do if you're not signed in. Right. If you are signed in, it will redirect you to where you were previously. So yeah, as we discussed in the Agile Ventures meeting yesterday, we were talking about going into Google AdWords and maybe doing an A/B thing with sending half the people who are, you know, to this site versus the other, and see what the sign-up rates are for those two. I guess, you know, in comparison. Other things that have happened this morning include we're setting up new marketing email addresses. Yeah, and just trying to work through emails that MOOC needs further, like the part 2 is coming up and needs reviewing and sorting out. And yeah, I seem to be spending time just like managing communication with people and not getting much done, but there we go. So what have we got on? It's Tuesday, and yeah, I've set up to talk to Ryder in a bit, and then we've got the NHS meeting later on today. I've put all of the events into the general channel as usual. Yeah, Slack is still now, it's doing this thing that when I run a Hangout, the Slack Uber slows down. So anyway, yeah, that's me. Let's move on to Matt. How are you doing?
Yeah, real good, Sam. Let's see, so lately for Run Fun, it's best dimming. I'm working on a feature to do sorting of. It's kind of funny. All the broadcasts sort, you know, the same way every time you come in, which is skewing the results. So I just want to resort, have a random sort order. Cool. I got to figure out how to do that.
Sounds good.
For the design sprint, I got Illustrator, so I'll create another Envision site so I don't mess up the current one, but hopefully we'll get some of the graphics fixed a little bit more. Some highlighting, and you know, we'll show it to everybody before Thursday and decide whether to go with the current or the newer one that we fix. Other than that, I got the mob in about 45 minutes, so I'm ready for that. The only thing I need from you, Sam, is how to start I forget how to start a Hangout without having it going into a project.
Okay, yeah, we'll just go to YouTube. I'll send you the.
Oh, you just go to YouTube, right? But
yeah, well, I'll send you the specific link that you need. There's like it's like a My Live Events link, and I'll put it to you in if Slack suddenly. I wonder if it's the heads up that interacts badly with Slack. But
group chat, and I'll copy it either way.
I've DM'd it to you directly on Slack.
Okay. So I got that in 45 minutes, and I think that's it.
Cool. All right, great stuff. Yeah, Lokesh, how are things going with you?
So I managed to complete that pull request, the home and volunteer button.
This is for local support.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I did the test and it's working great.
Oh, great.
Uh, and I submitted another pull request regarding the line length, which has to be 90,
Uh-huh.
not yeah. And
Great.
yeah, so, and I was thinking about working on this issue.
Uh-huh.
Uh, it's about the problem is that the version of Nokogiri which we have is very old.
Oh, okay.
So so I found out that these Nokogiri is required by these two, Capybara and Capybara WebKit.
Uh-huh.
So if we want to increase the version of Nokogiri, we have to increase their version.
Sure.
Yeah, I tried doing
Oh,
that, but there were some errors which I'm currently working with.
okay. Right. And is that's in relation to a separate ticket to do with like security upgrades, right? Or something?
Yeah, because that Nokogiri version is outdated and it is vulnerable.
Okay. Yeah. Great. That's a very important thing. It would be love to get that. Yeah. I was just getting confused there because I was thinking that what you were talking about might be related to one of the two open pull requests, but no, the two open pull requests are done, and yeah. Okay. Oh dear. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I will. Yeah. That all sounds good. So you're not blocked by anything.
No.
That's great. I guess we could, since that's our Scrum. Oh, Premise Law Zero is here. Hey there. How's it going? Can you hear us? Okay. Great to have you with us. Everybody always welcome in the Scrum. I don't know if anybody else has got any other business. If they haven't, I guess, yeah, I'll just go back to screen share here and look at these pull requests. Lokesh. Yeah, so this one here, so the test has been updated. So we've now got the volunteer opportunities page should be active, at the same time as the home button. And so now, okay, so we've got this logic in here, which is that basically this is so what we've got now is that the home button will be active if we're on the current page or if we're on the volunteers op path. Sorry, if we're on the root URL or the volunteers URL, then the home tab will be active. Lokesh, you're muted if you were trying to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I guess we're getting a little bit more, logic in the view that we might like, but I guess we've got no code climate checks there. So I think we should probably merge that in. I mean, I guess there's one could create kind of a helper here that would be asking the question, should the homepage be active? But I think until we see the need for that in a few places, let's just get that one in for you. Great work on that. And then just this other one that you've got here, line length offenses in the application controller. I mean, I guess what we've got here is that this is a comment, so it's you've split that up. All right, that's fair enough. And then this one, I'm a bit worried about. We've got the if, and then we've got this assertion on the next line. And I worry, just looking at that, I might be wrong, but I worry about Ruby interpreting that incorrectly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the tests are passing. So.
Right, but I think it's also the case that we can't necessarily always rely on the tests. Like in the ideal world, all the test passing would basically mean that everything is okay. But that assumes that, you know, all the tests are doing the thing that they should be doing and the coverage is perfect and so on and so forth. Just looking at this from a, you know what I mean, Matt? Like from a Ruby point of view,
Yeah.
like I would think that this was potentially doing something different. I mean, the way that we should break up a line like this is, you know, this should be pulled out into a different method. Do you know what I mean? Rather than breaking up the logic. I mean, if we're going to have this if statement here and we're going to break onto the next line, well, then we might as well wrap, you know, if this thing and return and then put end around it. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that this is quite confusing. So maybe prefer refactoring or ring by extracting a method that does, like, because I mean, part of the point about the line length is not just that line lengths are bad, it's about readability. So if we have, and the difficulty with a statement like this is that it's not clear, you know, it takes kind of a mental, right, what's this doing? This is doing organization path for the current user's pending organization ID. So we could turn this into something else, you know, that describes what it does. And so we could say, maybe have something like, so now we want, what is this? This is the organization path for the current user's pending organization. I mean, we might need to look in more detail about what's going on, but so I could say, well, let's call it organization path for current user pending, for current using pending or current organization path, or even we could put the pending at the front, pending organization path for current user. And without looking at the code and looking at the flow in more detail, you know, I can't tell. I may be misinterpreting what this is doing. You know, maybe there's a better way of describing. But you see, like, if we rather than just splitting up the line, if we extract, you know, a portion of it and give it a more coherent and more easily readable thing, then that allows the original code to become like this, and then it's like return. I've got pending organization path for current user. If, and then what is the thing that was if there? It's like current user pending organization ID. I mean, the whole thing here, you know, is suffering from, like, why have we even got this whole series of, it's almost like a kind of a case statement here. There's like a whole series of things to do, like, depending upon this, that, and the other. Kind of good coding practice would be to see if we could try and find some way of adjusting all of this so that it was, you know, more accurately describing what's going on. I guess is this specific? Can we pop this up and see what's going on here? This is right after sign in path. Device hook returns the user to the page they're reviewing before signing in. Right. Yeah. Maybe with that comment it's okay. I mean, they're all looking a bit long. It's like edit user path if it's pending organization ID. So anyway, something to consider there, I would say. Right.
Or Sam,
Go on.
rather than extracting it out, could he just declare a variable current organization, pending organization equals current user dot pending?
He could be doing that. I think the Ruby way is to extract methods rather than additional variables, in as much as that avoids the problem with the like extracting the variable is that it then ends up the method gets longer, and the method is perhaps less readable. But yeah, I mean that's certainly an option. By the way, Lokesh, have you read the book Refactoring Ruby?
No.
Yeah, that would be a really good book to read. And that sort of describes the pros and cons of doing like different things, like whether you extract the method versus extract the variable, and so on and so forth. It's yeah, I can't recommend that book enough, really.
Is that by Fowler too? Oh,
it's by Fowler. It's in his series, and he does the foreword, but it's by a couple of Ruby guys who are sort of following his original refactoring book, which I think I have. I actually have an original book on the shelf here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, I think that yeah, actually, this I'm just looking at the next one here. You've broken out the this one. You've kind of broken out this what is it called? Gosh, a hash onto multi-lines, and that's that's an improvement there, I think. Although again, the Ruby having this this thing here. Yeah, I mean the challenge is that for just a if you're reducing the length of the lines here in this fashion, you're just making the method longer. So there's not necessarily any improvement in readability or understanding what the method is intended for. So it's just something to watch out for there, Lokesh, is that you're kind of, I know from where you are, you're like, oh, the code climate says the line is too long, so I'm just going to go and fix that. The line is too long. But it's important to think about the intention of why are long lines bad? It's because they're difficult to read. And so what one wants to be thinking about when you're reducing line length is there a way that we can refactor the code so that the intention of what it's doing is easier to understand, if that makes any sense?
Yeah.
So just something to think about there. Okay, cool. And you're looking at those other security issues, which is fantastic. Very, very much appreciated. That's a really important thing that we need to do and get sorted out. So, Matt, fantastic luck with the RSpec mob there. You're going to invite Ken Jinjian directly to that, yes. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Anybody else that wants to come too, it would be a good one because it's the first one.
Yeah. Well, you could offer, if you want to offer like in other channels and say, hey, want to try a premium mob, and yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll send a message.
Cool. All right. Nice one. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll catch up with you a bit later on in the day. All right. Bye for now.